Welcome back everyone, it's Bebo Joe. This is a beginner's guide for making money in 1850. In this episode we're going to look at making money with trains in 1850. How to and what you have to look for. Overall it's very similar to the first one where we had just carriages. This time we want to keep the rule of three and more is better, and you want to connect everything in a relatively straight line. This way is a little more expensive, but it will also pay off a little better when you're done. One thing you can look for here is cities that are almost a whole screen length apart, because a train will be a little faster than your early carriages. So you don't have to just do halfways. For trains, keep in mind, the longer the distances that you travel, the more you get paid when you get there. Okay, let's set up the stations. In the beginning, you don't have to worry about long stations. Keep it cheap. This is already 100,000. Trains will be expensive too. You may want to consider tearing down at least a house, because that will increase your coverage immensely, and that will just increase the chance of having more passengers on your line, even though it's a little more investment at the beginning. So we'll remove this one just for the coverage. Then I would like to put a station here. It will help if you put a quick road in there. So there we go. So you can connect to that and you get the coverage of more of the city. This will help you down the road. And if you put a road there, you can also remove the street here without everyone complaining. You don't have to tear down any houses. So same thing here. Connect to as many houses as you can. You don't have to cover the whole city right away. That's not super important at the beginning. It helps you if you can, but it also costs you a lot more money to do so. Here, I would say ideally somewhere over here. Yeah, that covers most of the city. Let's just remove one building if possible. 3, 1, 2, 1, 4, no. Okay, we'll do these two. That will work. Then obviously connect your track. For this, I would recommend you, if you can find a flat piece and stay on the flat piece, maybe use the contour lines, just because building on flat ground is a lot cheaper than building on hills. You want to try to stay as direct as possible. So we're just going to lay these in. You can save some money. You can maybe see this better here. There's a gash that wants to put in here. Those cost more money. So the 366 up to like the side of this mountain. If you actually play with the terrain and don't put those big gashes in, you can save a lot of money, especially in the beginning, and that can be very important. So let's get this done. Connect to our station over here. It is not super important that you save all the money, and it's not the most important thing either to stay at high speed, especially on the early trains. The early trains are not going to move that fast. Later on is way more important, but also only if you have a long piece where you can't get up to speed. So don't worry about it too much, just get your track in cheap rather than perfect. Once you have your track in, you obviously need a train depot. Put it somewhere. It's totally up to you. I like to keep my depots near housing. Otherwise, who's going to work there? Once you have that in, get your stations in. For trains, I don't recommend point to point as much as I do the rule of three. 3 here, a train has a little higher capacity, so if you move from A to B to C, there's a good chance that you can pick up in B and drop off in B, and then bring to C without leaving people behind. On buses, you have a smaller capacity, and that is harder. In trains, you can sometimes also do lines of 4 or more, but I don't recommend those as much, just because at some point you're going to run out of space. When you pick a train, I'll really leave it up to you. All the early ones are not great. If you get one that's a little faster than the others, here I play with all vehicles enabled. Take that one. but you also want to match it to what carriages you have over here. This passenger car runs 50, has a capacity of 14. 14 is a lot in the beginning. 28, you're probably not going to be past that. Put this one on the line. We will start the game and I will be back shortly. Okay, welcome back everyone. The train just returned to the first station, so it left here, went down to that station, went down to the last station, come back here and here. The train is full already. All our train stations are full, or at least have a lot of people waiting there, which is great. Full train stations mean full trains. So just by setting up a train line like this, where the distance is big enough and the train is faster than anything else, our train is actually useful. This train made over 300,000 just on this drop-off, which it will continue doing. What you can do from here on out is just manage the vehicle, add more cars as you go along, and just keep this effective that the stations aren't overrunning. If you find yourself having trouble having not enough passengers at your stations, that could mean that your coverage of the city is not big enough. To increase that, you can use commuter lines that just run in your city. The more you cover, the better it is, and the less the people have to walk, the better it is too. I made another longer tutorial on those commuter lines in my passenger how-to. Check it out. Otherwise, this is all you need to know. You can add more trains, you can put some double up the track if you want anywhere, so you have more action, but this is all you really want to care about. Yeah, hope you learned something. Keep your trains rolling. Thanks for joining me. If you like what you saw, click all the buttons so you come back. But for now, bye!